The areas with the worst consistent flooding.
Where I'm standing right now was completely underwater last night. It's the biggest storm surge they've seen in 30, 40 years here in Gulfport.
It was never such a devastating and significant event where almost half of the town was flooded. A lot of these houses did not have flood insurance and got wiped out. There's a Helen water line. This is Hurricane Helen. Yeah, it's crazy. And these houses, they got flooded, so they either have to be raised up from the ground outside of the flood zone, or they have to be torn down and built new. So in reality, like the house was built in 1920s, right? All of these houses, you always find some funky conditions, how we would find like the bullet holes in the roof. There's more stuff that we find that we're not going to put on camera, but My name is Lukas. I am a licensed real estate agent and local developer here in St. Pete, Florida, and I am on a mission to take abandoned and vacant houses and flip them over for nice, remodeled, affordable luxury houses for the first-time home buyers. In this channel, I am documenting my journey and I want you to be a part of it. Alright guys, we are in Gulfport, Florida, one of my favorite towns. It's so nice and pretty here. It's very small, it's very walkable. However, the small size has a lot of pros and it has a lot of cons. So the biggest issue that the city is so small is that the city does not have much resources to deal with natural disasters. And now it's 3 months after we had major hurricanes hit Florida. Majority of Gulfport flooded because it's so close to the water, it's so close to the beach. The city, the building department did not have good resources to process all of the requests for renovations. We bought a flip in Gulfport right before the hurricane, literally a couple of weeks before 2 hurricanes hit Florida. So we were lucky enough that we didn't get flood during the hurricanes, or we didn't get any major damage, the trees didn't fall on it. However, what happened is that the city, their building department, they put all of their focus to process FEMA applications for flooded homes. And pretty much all of the city's resources went to flooded homes. They did not touch any applications, they did not process any permits for homes that did not flood. So literally for 1 to 2 months, we couldn't move an inch with our project. We are using investors' capital and they are not happy because our timeline increased, and even though it's force majeure event, it was not something that we have direct control over. Obviously, it's a natural disaster. We could not make any progress on a house because at that time we did not have our permit approved. So we submitted our permit right before the hurricane, and it was taking time for it to get approved. They were reviewing it, and then 2 hurricanes happened and we got stuck, and then we were just coming to the building department asking questions, what's the status with our permit, and they just kept giving us the same answer that, sorry guys, we're not looking at your application just yet. We have so many more important things to do. We have FEMA here, we're dealing with all of these flooded homes, and you guys are on a second plan as of right now. So the hurricanes passed, we got our permits approved, we made a lot of progress, and now we actually got to the house to see what progress we made. And we just pulled in, I see the dumpster, I see the trailer, the contractor said they're working. So now we're going to get on site, check out the progress, and then we're gonna see what progress the house made and what has changed since the last time we were here. All right, here we are, and KK just got here as well, so let's go say hi. And hey KK.
Hey, welcome to the chilly Florida.
Chilly Florida. I'm glad it's not snowing here. It's up north in Pensacola. I saw there was like 7 inches of snow this morning. Anyways, it's a good time to see if the heating systems work, because a lot of air conditionings in Florida, like, they don't have the heat strips.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Now it's a good test to see which houses actually have heating systems on. Anyways, let's not spend time outside. It's like 38 or 37. It's pretty much almost freezing here. Wow, I love it. I love it. It's completely a different house from like where it was just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we'll have some changes. The last time you guys been here, it wasn't any cabinets installed, any trims, any doors was installed. I mean, we made a pretty good progress within like 3 or 4 days since you guys last day been. We still need some, long way to go. We still gotta do backsplashes all around this wall, closing island area.
So what are you thinking for the backsplash? Are we gonna do the tile backsplash, or is there like any way to, like, I think the last houses we did, like, use some type of paneling? Like,
yeah, I believe so. We can use 1/4-inch paneling, which is like a horizontal or vertical. It's up to designer. It's up to you. But it's actually a really nice accent. We can paint it like some kind of Gulfport colors, and it's gonna be like a popping, and yeah, it's like a really nice accent.
What colors are you thinking for Gulfport?
You should go drasticals. You should go some like a really bright ones, which is popping in this kind of area of Gulfport.
Yeah, remember how we painted the duplex doors green and pink?
Yeah, so...
But did you see that they repainted these doors? I drove by this morning and they painted like the pink doors are no more
they
pink
did?
doors.
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's charcoal. So like not every decision that we make buyers appreciate. But that's once again, like we spoke about it the other day, how the doors, it's nice because like you paint the doors and you just customize the door, but like you don't have to repaint the entire house because the door is easy to change the color, like instead of like if we paint the entire house our custom color, then like it's too big of the expense for the buyer. But I think for this house, like if we did the paneling instead of tiles, it's going to be cheaper because I see the big wall of tiles, and that would be a big expense because tiles are expensive. And if we just buy one big panel and we just paint it, like I think for this house, for Gulfport, I think I envisioned something like dark green, like forest green.
Yeah, absolutely.
This would pop, and we're gonna have nice stainless steel appliances. This is all built-in refrigerator. I think it's going to look very nice, and I think what we should do? I think we should do the same paneling here on the island, and we should also paint the same accent color as a backsplash.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Also, I was thinking about this small area because we're gonna have a built-in dishwasher. The countertop is gonna come over here with the overhang. So we still we gotta decide what are we gonna do right here. Are we doing the same as a backsplash, or are we gonna just drywall it and put a texture? So it's just really up to you.
What do you think would look better?
I would say if we go all kitchen with the accent, I would definitely go the paneling. Of course, we're gonna have a fascia right here, so it's gonna line up with drawers, so it's not gonna be an issue. But that side, yeah, it would be like a really nice small accent, I would say. You're coming in the kitchen and you see all this like a whatever greenish, something like a paneling, so it would look really nice, Let's go further.
So this is the primary suite. So initially when we bought this house, this opening was really, really low. So KK, I really like how you were able to make this work, because I remember when we bought this house, I'm 6'2", and like I remember like the opening was like right here. So I'm so happy we were able to manage to actually fit the normal size door, because this actually works out great. It doesn't feel like it's a weird funky condition. So in reality, like the house was built in 1920s, right? And then this was an addition. This was a garage at some point, right? Because you can see how the ceilings here are lower. I'm glad I touched it. I'm so happy. Like I thought like, oh my God, like he was painting right now. So it's like...
Also, the fun fact, these floors was super crooked, it was literally like 3 or 4 inches off. So when we open everything, when we look at the beams, Someone did a really bad job, and we still have actually the steps left over in here in this area because they was too heavy to move them out. It's like a one piece of the big concrete. So we was like playing around them, putting a new beams, put in the buckets, all brand new reframing, so to make it like a perfect level all the way through the house.
So you found like the existing steps.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Like in all of these houses, you always find some funky conditions done by previous contractors. You know, like a lot of times we would like find in South St. Pete, like how we would find like the bullet holes in the roof.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's more stuff that we find that we're not going to put on camera, but
Definitely not. Also, talking about this primary suite, we left the original built-in cabinet.
Yes, this is a very nice.
This is a really nice detail, really nice accent, and this is gonna be, this is gonna be usable. So, it's a nice thing to have.
So this was a garage, and at some point we already bought it with a conversion, but initially this was a garage. The main house was 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and they had the garage converted into the living space, and the back side of the house had a lot of funky rooms. So it was like 2 weird closets. So we also converted 1 room into the primary bathroom. So this addition that used to be a garage, it was like a second or extension of the living room. It was like a family room, right?
Yes, correct.
And we enclosed this with a door, and we created a 3rd bedroom with the oversized bathroom, and we created a huge oversized primary suite
And utility room.
Yes, and additional laundry room as
Yes.
well for this house. So I think the layout is really, really nice for this house. I would love to live in this house myself. So I think now what? Check out the bathroom?
Yeah, let's do it.
I see you moved the doors, right? Like they were off.
Yeah, so the door was actually where the vanity is supposed to be, right? So we had to reframe completely and move those doors back. Then we had big issue with the floors because we had a recessed bathtub inside in the floors.
So it was a tub that was inside the floors.
I never seen this
my
career. So we gotta remove that. We gotta completely reframe everything. Recess that wall a little bit because it was completely off level.
So you recessed it for the plumbing?
Yes, I recessed it for
the
plumbing, and because it was crooked, and it would.
I remember
be right.
this floor had a brand new framing, I think.
As you can see, we have a 86 inches countertop, which is vanity with the countertop, which is really nice. We're gonna have a single
sink, right? And I really like the single sinks because for function standpoint, the house already has 2 bathrooms, right? So it's going to be very rare when 2 people are using this bathroom at the same time. And when you have the nice big vanity, it's really nice to have that counter space that's not being eaten by the sink, the second sink that's not going to be used at the same time regardless. So it's much better just to have the counter space just to put your stuff. And what's nice about this bathroom, we also have a nice space for the linen closet. So it's a very functional space. We have the nice tempered glazing with a privacy film on it that's going to produce a lot of natural light. So it's very rare for the bathrooms to have the window, and a lot of investors, they will just like block it off because it's much cheaper, and they don't have to work around these conditions, weatherproofing, etc., etc. So it's nice that we have the privacy window integrated in the shower. It's a very nice accent, creating a lot of natural light, and this is the money shot in this house. I think this counter space, just when buyers are gonna come in Gulfport, because Gulfport is like, all of the houses are so small, they're like all like bungalows, right? Yes. And we have the bathroom this size with this big counter space, designed in a nice way. I think this will be great. And I just got another idea. What we can also do, we can take the same wood panel that we're using in the kitchen for the backsplash, and we can use it right here all the way from counter space all the way to the ceiling, paint the same green, and then put 2 mirrors on it.
That would be really nice accent.
That would be the badass accent. How much those panels cost?
Approximately $48 per piece, which is
How many pieces
40.
do we need here?
Oh, just one.
Okay, so
90%.
50 bucks and we get an
Yes,
accent?
absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be the money shot. I'm going to order really, really nice mirrors, like accent mirrors,
Right.
and they're going to pop because we're going to have the dark accent.
What are you thinking?
right behind
Should
it.
we do a chandelier light, or you want to do like a wall-mounted light?
So it really depends what electrician has pre-run, and I don't remember from top of my head right now because we really need to think what the plans showed and what was on plans and what electrician actually run. And I don't know if the wires are inside the walls or inside the ceilings. Because if it's inside the ceilings, then we can just like put the recessed lights and do wherever we need. But if it's pre-fixed in the walls, then that's where the light goes. So we don't have that many options. And yeah, it looks great.
I'll be back.
So now guys, I think it's time to drive around the neighborhood to check out on the progress on where the other houses are in terms of the renovations, because a lot of city flooded during the last 2 hurricanes. I want to pay attention to that because all of these houses, if they are remodeled before us and if they're going to hit the market, we're going to have a ton of competition. So we want to wrap up our construction as soon as possible. And the good thing is that we started our renovations right before the hurricane. So we are ahead of all of these houses, and we didn't have to go through FEMA because we didn't get the hurricane damage. We didn't get the water inside the property. And these houses, they got flooded. So they either have to be raised up from the ground outside of the flood zone, or they have to be torn down and built new. So we are going to drive by the neighborhoods and see the progress of the hurricane damaged homes. Let's go. So here we are located on the 28th Avenue South and 50th Street South. This is the corner location, and I really like how we are situated on the map with this property because it's a corner lot on a nice brick street. We have a lot of pine trees, we have a lot of oak trees. Let's spin over to these houses. We were driving super slow and we literally drove off just 2 blocks south. We got to Marina. This is where they store the boats, and you can see the extensive hurricane damage. And this is literally just 2 blocks away from where we are flipping the house. So look how lucky we are that we didn't get flooded, that we didn't suffer this much damage. And this is the prime location. And as unfortunate as it is that these houses got damaged, because I feel horribly bad, because this was somebody's home and now it's destroyed. But this is the prime location, and eventually this is the chapter for these houses to get redeveloped for the prime location. So one negative is going to eventually turn into the positive. But regardless, now let's drive the other parts of Gulfport and let's see, because this is literally the same street, the same brick street, just 2 blocks closer to the water, and the water got here. I think this area right here, it got like 6 feet of water. So look, there's a Helen water line. This is Hurricane Helen. Yeah, it's crazy. Right, so here we are just blocks away from the house, and we are coming to the marina. All these houses got 6 feet of water, and it's crazy how close we are to these houses, but the elevation changes because as you're going closer to the water, it slopes down. And during the Hurricane Helen, the water did not come to our house. And how lucky we are, because we are not in a flood zone and we do not carry flood insurance. And you know, in Gulfport, a lot of these houses are older houses that are paid off, and the lenders were not requiring homeowners to carry flood insurance. And in Tampa Bay, we don't see flooding very often. And Gulfport never flooded before. Like, yes, it's flooded, but like it was never such a devastating and significant event where almost half of the town would flood. So a lot of these houses did not have flood insurance and got wiped out. And a lot of these houses were not in the flood zone, be required to carry flood insurance like us. But luckily for us, that was not the case for us, and our house did not suffer any damage. In fact, like out of the 30 properties we had at that time during the hurricane, we got away with like minimal damage. I think we only spent like up to $50,000 remediating all of our damages across all of the properties that we have all combined. And it was just mainly the fences, one house, my business partner's duplex got suffered the most. But other than that, I think it's crazy to see the difference between the flooded part and non-flooded part, because like one part of town is super beautiful and very nice, like nothing ever happened, and another part of town, which is just 2 blocks over, you still see significant damage that the city suffered from the hurricane, and it's going to take months and months to recover. And now I do see more and more for sale signs to come up as we're driving, and obviously we're by the marina right now, but as we're driving through the streets we saw the for sale signs. So it seems like we're almost in 2007 when entire streets were up for sale, because a lot of times, if in such a short period of time the houses were already remodeled, it means it's probably done with no permits, because there is no way in 3 months you finish the renovations going through FEMA and getting all of the FEMA package of significant improvement approved. So it's just no way. So if you see the house on the market that was flooded 3 months ago and now it's listed for sale, it's all beautiful and remodeled, and you know it got water, really double check the public records if there are renovation permits on file. And it's very risky to buy the houses like that, because if it's not done with permits, you have risk of FEMA coming back and saying, you know, you still have to raise the house up from the flood zone. So here we are driving and you see like the houses like that don't have garages, they're boarded up, there's still debris on the yards, and you see the significant damage the city suffered. So it's crazy. I definitely see the challenges that we have with lights, because we pre-cut these holes ahead of time, and it's always an issue that we have with the coordination, because when we plan everything just on plans, you just don't see that vision. And now we have all of the recessed lights. The kitchen plan is not aligning with the lighting plan, and we have the light that's off, and this is going to be the sink, but the light is going to be off. So ideally the light fixture will be centered with the sink, so the light falls naturally. And here it's the same problem, right? Like we have the stove in the center of the island, and the recessed light is off by a few inches from the center, and yet we are still going to have the drop-down hood vent at the same location. Yes. So we're going to have the recessed light that's not centered, and then a couple of inches away we're also going to have the drop-down hood vent. So we definitely will have to eliminate this light. And it's crazy how we flipped hundreds and hundreds of homes and we still run into these issues of poor coordination. Unfortunately, it's just a part of this game, and you know,
not everybody can read the plans. You know?
Not everyone can read the plans, and not everyone can plan the plans
exactly,
well as well.
You're always missing something as you go on the field. The field and working in the office doing planning is really completely different and opposite things. So it's really hard to know things, all these.
And when we buy the house, it's also so hard to see a vision for all of the light locations for every single detail up front. So I almost feel like it's better just to pre-plan preliminary locations, run the wires in the attic, but don't cut the actual holes like we did in this project until the cabinetry is installed.
I have to stop you right here, because we did a brand new drywall, and those holes wasn't there. And it was pre-planned. The wires was staying there on top of the attic. But our electrical, you know, probably he didn't have people where to move to work, right? So they came here and pre-drilled the whole holes.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait for us to install the cabinets. So
Yes.
this is the issue, you
Yes,
know?
it's just coordination issues. And as I always say, there's 3 key items you need for house flipping business. It's money, it's deals, and it's contractors. And contractors is by far the hardest part. I absolutely hate it because it's easy to raise money, it's easy to find deals. Well, easy relatively, right? Like if you put in the work, it's easy, they come, right? But the contractors is the nightmare because as the investor, you have to always balance between all these 3. The numbers have to make sense. So you also have to have the nice balance between the quality that you get and the price you're willing to pay for you to be profitable and for you to make money.
It's always
a trade-off.
It's always cost you money. These small mistakes. The recessed light is $70 per light.
With labor, materials,
yes.
and
So
everything,
you
yes.
can imagine right now we're losing 175. It was another 75. We gotta move that. Nobody likes to come back to the job
Yes, it's
site.
a change order.
Change order, yes.
It's a
Nobody
change order.
loves to come back. At least we're paying them, but we're losing money from the from the end. But nobody likes to come back 10 times, and move those lights.
Yes.
It doesn't big deal, right? But for some people it is, because if you're busy with other work
Yes,
and
yes.
it's getting delays and
Yes.
delays. That's
Yes.
what's common issue, and it's really hard to to organize everything and so that everybody is supposed to be on the same page as you are.
Yes. And I think when we're flipping like 20 houses at a time, it's like, it's very, very hard to stay on top of the little details and coordinate the guys with the little details. And even though we have a construction manuals in place and everybody knows the standard of what we do, we still run into these little issues. And but think about how much better we got today than where we were 5 years ago, right? Because 5 years ago, it was impossible. It was a hot mess, it was the stuff was everywhere. People were doing whatever they want. And it's really hard, when new people come in, they need to get on board and they need to get retrained. But once they're in and once they do a few projects with us, now Alexi knows, right? 90% of the lights are in the right locations. It's just at 10%.
Finally.
Finally. So we're going to get a quote for the waterfall. This is a very nice accent. We're going to do the 12-inch overhang for the island. This is a very nice accent because it allows the bar sitting and entertaining from the kitchen to the dining room. I also like to design stoves in the island because when you're cooking, you get to entertain people in the living space.
Absolutely.
Whereas if the stove is by the wall, you're just cooking and you're facing the wall. It's not nice.
You just doing
You
a
can
job.
face wall when you're doing dishes. It's already, the dinner is already over. Now go do the dishes. Go into the corner, sit down.
No, it's actually a really nice design. It's giving you the open space, and if you have your guests just waiting, watching TV, watching the football.
Yes, you're just here entertaining.
Yes.
And I learned this by myself because when I built my house, that's the decision that I made, and it's so nice because I have my wife in the living room watching TV, and I make breakfast, right? I make eggs, and I get to talk to her. I get to watch TV in the living room, and so that's also
It's amazing.
It's a
really
nice little detail that we get to do. What's that? A raccoon? How did you arrive?
Mr. Painting Raccoon.
A few moments later.
All right, so we got kicked out of the house because our angry painter said get out, I need to paint. Get out! And here we are again outside, freezing our fingers off. We are here on the brand new deck, which I really, really like. So this was a nice existing condition deck, and these boards in really rough shape. So you guys changed all of it, and you were able to save the front part of the railings, right?
Yes, sir.
Looks great. And what's the plan with this deck? What are we gonna do?
So there is a couple options what we can do. We can leave it as natural as possible, but then during the years it's gonna get dirty, and
Stain or
and you always gotta come back every single year and refinish it.
Yeah.
Which is a frustrating and it's cost money and time. So we usually do painting them high gloss satin black color, which we really like it. This was a really nice accent of the our flips.
So it's not black.
It's not black. No, it's not. It's just called satin black. we're gonna spray everything. We're gonna cover it up because this is brand new paint on the house. So we will cover it. We will spray everything. Satin black color. It's gonna be high gloss, which is protect. It's it's not gonna be like a wearing.
It helps
this,
with the wear and tear. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be a really nice accent. It's gonna look beautiful.
And I see one issue that we have here. Our sidewalk goes right there. It's not a sidewalk, it's a walkway. Yeah. Our sidewalk, our walkway stops right there, and we have the steps down right here. So we need to figure out this condition. I think what we should do, we should just get a Bobcat, get it all out, and just run a brand new walkway all the way to the street, to the mailbox.
Yes.
Or we just do a few steps, but it's not going to look that good. This is expensive house. We're planning to sell this house for close to $600,000, and it's in a nice location.
Yes.
I think we should spend the money. The only problem, we don't have a good contractor for the concrete,
right,
because yesterday we saw the 8-to-8 condition, and that driveway is garbage. It's so bad.
It's a
that
snake.
connection between the apron and the strips.
I saw it.
Oh my God. We got into a conflict with this guy yesterday because he's like, oh, you want me to fix it? Pay $250 and I'll fix it. I was like, dude, just do the right thing in the beginning, you know?
Everybody loves bitching in the first place. Nobody loves to do a good job, and then you can, for a good job, we can pay money. But
Yes.
money is not the issue. First of all, you gotta come and do the great job, then there is no issue paying. But when the people is doing the crappy job and they requires money, and for little things like to fix it, they own shit, it just costs us more money and more frustration.
2025 resolution was to not to work with difficult contractors. If
Yes.
you want to scale, we need easy to work people. So
Absolutely, 100%.
concrete person that we had is definitely on the list to go. So what I'm seeing, we definitely need an electrician back to change the lights and the location of these lights. Maybe we just do 2 side lights on the doors if possible.
Yes, we already get them on site.
Okay.
We just gotta get the electrical on site, and which is gonna be a challenge, but we'll make it work. And yes, we already got the house numbers. We already got paint for the doors, and just we just coming along.
Anyways, Carlos, would you like to tell our viewers how we met and how we started our house flipping journey together?
Wow, that's actually it's kind of crazy when you think about it, and the world is so big, and we just accidentally bumped into each other into the park, basically.
Here in St. Pete.
Yeah, here in St. Pete, there's just Vinoy Park. You just completely accidentally, and just here we go.
Carlos and I went to the same high school in Lithuania.
A small city.
Small city, like 20,000
yeah.
people. And it's been, 10 years after high school. And I know you live in the States, you know I live in the States, but we are not buddies, right? We don't stay in touch. And then it's St. Pete, it's a smaller town. It's not like Miami, or it's not like New York City, right? It's St. Pete, Florida. Many people don't even know where it's at on the map.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking in a park, and there is this guy walking in the park, and he starts looking at me weirdly, this, you know? And I'm what's wrong with this guy? And he's like, Lukas, is that you?
I still remember it, right?
Oh my God, it feels like it's been yesterday, and now it's been 5 years.
It's I believe it's more like a 5 or 6 years. 10 years in the United States.
Like that. So, and it's funny how much we grew, because when we met at that time, I was homeless, sleeping in my flips.
Yes.
And Carl also just moved to Florida.
Yes.
And we were just starting out, and I started flipping houses. You started helping us, and
yes, I started completely literally just doing carpentry work, and Lukas was pushing me to do everything. He says, "Why not doing everything? Take over the drywall, take over the painting." And I was shaking my head, because this is not my stick. I don't want to start doing this, but finally I'm just taking over all his flips and just doing them. So it's been a crazy journey, and still big things, is waiting for us, I believe so.
And now you flipped quite a few houses by yourself. So it's crazy how in 5 years you started just like, oh, I only do carpentry work,
Right.
and I only install the doors and
Yes.
trim and baseboards and cabinets, and that's it. Like carpentry is all I touch.
Yes.
And then you took over the painting, and then you took over the drywall, and then you took over more. And it's crazy how in 5 years you went from just being a carpenter to actually taking over the entire project, being a project
Right.
manager, and actually completing like all of these flips pretty much from A to Z by yourself, managing all of the subcontractors, and actually being an investor yourself, and now having multiple deals on your portfolio, just doing it by yourself, where you are the owner, you're the builder, you're the contractor, you're the investor. And it's crazy how, you know, how much we grew in 5 years, you know. Anyway, so good stories only in America, guys.
Dream country.
And I think it's time to wrap our day. Our contractor KK said that we need about 4 more weeks to finish up this project. Now it's a matter of getting to the finish line between all of the subcontractors, meaning that we need to get the plumber in there to install the plumbing fixtures. We need to get the electrician to get all of the electrical trim and light fixtures. We need the countertops. We need a landscaper. And when all of the sub trades are done, then it's probably about 1 week to wrap up all of the finishing details, get the house staged, and get it on the market. And we're going to revisit this house in about 4 weeks when the house is done. So now, like and subscribe to not miss out on the next house flipping video. I'll see you in the next one.